Welcome to EmployeeConnect. In this video, you'll learn how to set up pay groups in the system. So first of all, you'll need to make sure that you've logged in with admin privileges, and then in the top menu, you'll need to navigate to HR, and then to Organisation. In the side menu, you'll then need to navigate to Groups, and then to Pay Groups. From here, you'll see a list of all of the pay groups that are currently in your EmployeeConnect system. For example, we have one for monthly employees at the moment. To create a new one, all you need to do is click on the plus icon. And from here, you'll need to define all of the required fields, being the ID and the name. We usually recommend to make the ID similar to the name, so it's easy and transferable. Let's fill it in now. You can also define things, for example, like a company filter. If you have multiple companies, you may want this pay period to only be applicable to a certain company, but if you leave it blank, it will be optional for any employee in any company. You can then define the pay frequency. You can see in the drop-down that we have daily, fortnightly, weekly, hourly, monthly, quarterly, weekly, and yearly. So in this instance, I'm going to select weekly. You can then select the payroll that you facilitate this with. Again, we have a predefined list of all payroll providers. If your payroll provider is not there, you can always liaise with EmployeeConnect to have yours added, though this is purely informational and isn't required or powers the pay period per se. You'll then need to define the current tax year and financial year. So in this instance, we would put in 2018 for the financial year. And then when you're done, just click on the green tick icon. Once this is done, you can also define the pay periods. This will be helpful for things like timesheeting. So all you need to do is click on the specific pay group that you want to edit and click on the pay period icon. From here, you just need to click on the plus icon and then again fill in the required details. You would need to define the ID and the pay group, so as to whether this is applicable for the weekly or the monthly employee. Or again, if we made this blank, that would be applicable to any pay group. So we want to keep this to weekly. And we're going to say that the ID is ID 1. You'll then need to define the cutoff date, the start date, and the end date. Again, this is more specific for things like timesheeting. So you'd want to know, for example, what day is the start date and end date of the pay cycle, and what date is the cutoff date where you will no longer be accepting things like timesheeting or leave requests and so forth. Again, you don't have to define this, but it's really helpful for timesheeting. So that way, when someone goes in to enter a new timesheet, the pay periods will be applicable as to the start and end dates and the cutoff dates that you've defined. So we might say that the cutoff date is going to be Friday. And we're going to say that the start date is going to be Monday. And the end date is going to be Friday. And then when you're done, just click the green icon. And that will save the cutoff date, start date, end date, pay group, and pay period ID. You can then use the breadcrumbs at the top to go back to the pay group, now that we've defined the pay period. That now means that we have 2 pay periods in our system at the moment, which means that when we get onto the employment agreement section for employee files, you can select either or pay period and pay group. And that's how easy it is to set up pay groups in EmployeeConnect.